Edward Unthank. Let's talk about what's coming to marketing operations very specifically. We need to talk about in marketing operations, and I mean kind of old school marketing operations, we have Marketo. And then in the Marketo world, there are things like operational programs, and these are the core ideas of life cycle and scoring and profiling and alerts. Scoring and profiling and alerts, and all of these end up being the core fundamentals of what is a kind of the work engine of Marketo as we've designed it over the years within marketing operations. The second piece of primary of that is campaigns. And then the campaigns or Marketo programs, as we're aware with them, these are where the actual creation of campaigns, of nurtures, webinars, emails, any programs that we're all aware of. These are all just the program types, program tags, and program types. And then goes through the process of email and email QA, landing page QA, LP QA, flow, setting between them, and then working out in this world. So this is what we have as the most fundamental of how we're doing this. Now, let's imagine what AI can do, especially with some upcoming announcements about new feature rollouts for that. Just one moment. So what does that look like? AI. The question is, how is AI going to affect Marketo? And there are a few different things that I've been looking at. Number one, Marketo, about next week, 2 weeks, something like that, Adobe Summit, they're going to be announcing some new features. One of them that we're aware of is an MCP. That means that there's an MCP ability, a model context protocol, an ability to have kind of an LLM-driven management of the orchestration, of the configuration of Marketo itself. So the whole point on this is that we get it all into an MCP is able to come up with a model context protocol, a new feature. You're basically looking at a world where you can manage the configuration of Marketo, both operational programs and marketing campaign programs, and then being able to run them via an MCP. Now, MCP. Doing a little bit of work on this because it's the fun part. Currently, if you're doing a do-it-yourself MCP, which kind of working on the process, is it depends upon the core element, is it depends upon the REST API. And so when you're doing your own MCP and building it yourself, as we're trying to do, you have to depend upon this REST API for any modification of the programs and contents within Marketo. The problem is that Marketo's REST API is slow and not fully reliable, which means that you need to add another layer of orchestration within this REST API so that you can say that there's a sending off, there's a checking the status, and then you don't automatically get back an API call. It's not like you click on a thing and then you get the answer. It's you click on a thing, it starts an asynchronous process of going in, reading, writing, modifying the contents via the API of Marketo. Problems, you don't get a response back from that in time, not enough to say that in real time, yes, that program is done. And it's asynchronous, meaning if you start off and say, make a program, that's one thing. The next thing that you need to say is then to say, rename all of the localized smart campaigns and put them into folders. The problem is you can't do that until every single operation is linearly executed in the DIY approach. So Marketo, Adobe is coming up with a promise that there's going to be a new MCP and it's going to be a way to manage the internals of this. Now that sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty cool. I'm hopeful and hoping that this is a new way where we can run the world via marketing operations, that we're actually using that kind of thing. The other benefit of that is that we get agents. The agents individually would be able to use this large language model approach and then do things like individual worker agents doing things like coming up with and asking for a score, an anecdotal score of an individual lead record. You can also do this right now if you come up with your own clever methodology of doing something like a webhook out and asking for an update to be happened as long as you have your individual agent as you're doing the primary. But the future looks like this. We've got an MCP and trying to manage, instead of the www, the actual web app, it's talking about the login.marketo. We're talking about using it and managing it via an MCP. And the point in that is that we can automate more on the production layer and the front end human productivity layer. We can use this MCP, and then we use that in order to go into the core system itself of Marketo and manage it. But this is what's happening. This is about to be announced and released. I'm excited to see what it looks like. And this is possible that it'll redefine how we as marketing operations run the systems all together. And this will allow us to do things like reduce a lot of the mind-boggling repetitive work and then turning them into chained skills and agents and conversation level of actions that can be happened and controlled on a scheduled or a triggered basis via an overall agentic infrastructure. But MCP, it's coming. Agents, it's coming. We'll see how useful they are, and I'm hopeful. And the more useful they are, the more it looks like we might be able to do more than we've ever considered doing before. So that's the future. AI, it's about to hit Marketo. It's about to hit marketing operations in the full frontal of impact, and we need to start getting ready and start planning out what that looks like. So thank you so much. I'm Edward Unthank here from Etumos, a longtime Marketo consulting company, revenue technology consulting company, helping us move into the AI era. Stay tuned. Thanks.